Hi everybody. So today I'm going to be talking about shyness and introvertedness. What's the difference? So I was at the International Mall down in Tampa, and I saw at the Apple store, and I was browsing the products, and I saw on the wall there was this picture of a computer, and on it had the words extrovert and introvert, and immediately it caught my attention. Um, it it actually had a fair bit of text that actually made sense when the words were put together, which apparently the person working there said that wasn't really usually the case because I brought it up to him. But it said, one set of traits almost everyone is familiar with is the extrovert-introvert binary. We often think of people as either extroverts, outgoing, confident, and sociable, who draw energy from others, or introverts, quiet, shy, and reserved, who need to be alone to recharge. This is an oversimplification, and in my opinion, it's a false statement. So, the reason why is that I see the words introvert and shy interchangeably, and I know that they're not the same thing, and it just gets on my nerves, so I decided to show you guys a little bit of studies that actually distinguished the distinction between shy people and introverts. So here's a paper written by Stephen R. Briggs in 1988 titled Shyness, Introversion or Neuroticism. It was published from the University of Tulsa by the Journal of Research and Personality. And in the abstract of this paper, it actually says that shyness and introversion are used interchangeably in everyday language, and that shyness is a primary factor in a hierarchy of personality traits, whereas introverts and neuroticism is a higher order factor. What does this mean? Well, shyness could, for example, be when you're a client going to the doctor and you're shy because you don't want to book an appointment to get this flu shot, but you really need it. Or another example would be you're in 5th grade and your teacher asks you to present show and tell, and you have this toy, but you're scared of what other people will think. Those are two examples of shyness because they require interaction with others, but there's a fear there. Neuroticism is a broader idea of shyness. It englobes more specific traits, but not just ones that have to do with other people and social interaction. For example, you could be neurotic about losing your keys, where did I put them, or going on a flight, or even taking a test. Those specific cases, including ones that include shyness, are all engulfed in the big ball of neuroticism, and that's stemming through fear and analysis paralysis. Introversion is the same idea. It's a general term of reticent behavior. Shyness and introversion are usually confused because they both seem similar on the surface in that they tend to not interact with people and have reticent behavior. But later on in the results of this paper, it showed that shyness was actually correlated equally between introversion and neuroticism, meaning that shyness is not equal to introversion. Okay, so a different paper that gives us a little bit more insight was a paper written by Jonathan M. Cheek and Arnold H. Buss, written in 1981, titled Shyness and Sociability, published from the University of Texas at Austin by the American Psychological Association. In the abstract of this paper, the psychologists pointed out that sociability and shyness were in fact two distinct factors, two distinct personality dispositions. And their research furthermore concluded that shyness was not just equal to low sociability, meaning that shyness is not equal to introvertedness. To further explain this and to illustrate this concept, they took 4 groups of subjects: shy socials, shy unsocials, unshy socials, and unshy unsocials. They paired these two together and they had them interact for 5 minutes. What they noted is that shy socials, so shy extroverts essentially, were the ones that tend to talk less and avoided gazes and kind of engaged in some self-conscious manipulation to fit in with the others more than any other group. So these guys are probably the ones that scored high in neuroticism. The reason being is that they're actually extroverted by nature. An unsocial a shy unsocial is actually technically already by preference not social. So if he's scared of other people, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Hence, I mean, it would be, but it wouldn't be that big of a deal if he were to steer away from the crowd. An unshy unsocial is a healthy introvert. An unshy social is a healthy extrovert. So they concluded that in a study of social behavior, we need to know whether the subject is shy and if he's also social, because they actually are two distinct traits. So if you could have, so I was thinking, like, if you could have a shy extrovert, and shyness doesn't really depend on your general extrovert introvert traits, then where does shyness stem from? Could it be a cultural thing? Well, there's actually a study that was performed by Breen Afshan that proved exactly that. In 2015, he titled his paper Shyness, Self-Construal, Extroversion, Introversion, Neuroticism, and Psychotism, a cross-cultural comparison amongst college students. So in his abstract, he actually noted that shyness is considered a universal phenomenon, okay? And it is actually noticeable across a lot of cultures. So he sampled college students, gave them questionnaires to test their shyness. Students from India, Africa, Iran, Maldives, Tibetan. And what he noted was that students from Maldives showed relatively higher levels of shyness, whereas Iranian students had lower levels of shyness. Now, they actually showed that faith orientation didn't make a difference in the level of shyness, neither did gender differences. But that shyness was and could be influenced by culture from which one person is born in. And that's something that they can't control. And the level of shyness could depend on the nurturing access that they have. And so it is a cross-cultural thing. Well, at least the primary factors showed that. So, that could help. We could actually eventually do more studies to further investigate if that is the case. But I just wanted to make that clear distinction that the two terms, shyness and introvertedness, are in fact distinct. They do not stem from the same thing. And if you guys had to take home anything, I hope it should be, shyness stems from fear, whereas introversion stems from preference. Thank you so much.